Hi everybody, I'm Jeff with VAPI. Today we're on our way up to Alexandria, Virginia, where we're going to investigate the Ramsay House, which is a very old house in Alexandria. It has a lot of history and a couple of alleged hauntings. It doesn't have a lot of reports, but we're going to go there and see if we can find anything. Right now, as you can see, we're having some pretty nice weather. It's raining. There's severe thunderstorm alert with quarter-size hail and damaging winds up to 60 miles an hour. And we are going to be camping at Pohick. So we'll see how it turns out. Alright, and that's Sir Ramsay. Right. And what's the story with him?
Well, he's the original owner of the house. Now, this house was actually down in Culpeper, Virginia, and this house was actually moved up here to mark the property. So this house was actually brought up here on a barge.
Oh, really?
Yes. So this was back in the mid-1800s. So early 1900s, actually this house burned down. So this is a replica. Part of this house, the foundation's still the same. There's a lot of parts that are still original, but the original house actually burned down.
How long ago did it burn down?
I guess that was in early part of the 20th century.
So it's still pretty old.
Yeah, it's still very, very old. You see, this is Candy's Candy, which is no longer is Candy's Candy.
So that's what it used to look like. And was that in the original location?
Yes, this is the location right here. This is on the corner of North Fairfax and King right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think last year we had 74,000 visitors last year, and that's from, I can't remember how many countries, but yeah, it's a significant amount of visitors. And this year we're on pace to have more, because especially now that they have National Harbor across the river, we're getting a lot more visitors from different areas that didn't necessarily come here. And now they're really changing things just to try to get additional visitors. But this house has been used for a number of things. Like I said, it was Sir Ramsay's house, but now it's a visitor center. But this is the main lobby, and we've actually had people that have come up and they know more about the ghosts before we come in. There was actually, when I was working here, I used to work here part-time, about 6 hours a week. There was a couple people who were afraid to come up the stairs because they read the stories of the ghosts, and I was like, well, no, hey, I'm here all the time. I don't ever see anything. But then when you talk to people, you hear some of the stories, and so it makes sense. So
right.
Let me show you around here a little bit. But this was actually used to be a storage room here and then an office, and then it's actually been turned into the gift shop here. But again, every room in a house, from what I've talked to, there's always been some type of activity going on where someone's heard something, someone's seen somebody, and this is another version of that room. Like I said, I've never seen anything, but I've heard a lot of stories.
What kind of stuff did they say they've seen?
Well, in this room in particular, I'll show you some of the upstairs rooms, and I'll tell you. But
okay.
In here, there's been stories of people walking around, people hear people walking around. And the most common thing is there's supposedly a woman that people on Market Square have seen looking out the window at night.
Oh, looking out this window over here?
This window, the upstairs window.
Oh, wow.
Walking down the stairs, like there's been stories of like people standing there to hear the people walking up and down the stairs, and no one actually comes up the stairs, even with the videos and stuff like that. So, which is kind of cool. Now when I talk about it, I'm giving myself chills. But yeah, in this room in particular, again, just like creaky doors now. How much is that attributed to just being an old house? I don't know, but there's been a lot of people that, I'll take you upstairs before I tell you that story. Let me show you downstairs here.
Awesome.
And this is the original foundation that, a lot of the house burned down, but this is still the original foundation that the house was brought over to. I've never heard of anything haunted in the bathrooms that I will show you in there. But again, there has been reports, people seeing things down here, like doing boxes, and they've seen figures, and they've seen people. The most common story is there's a woman that people see. Now, this is used for storage, and like I said, this would be a cool thing so you guys might want to check out, especially if you're doing, have your video cameras checked out, especially when it gets later at night. You might want to keep your video cameras down here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But again, most of the main stories that I hear in the upstairs level, which I'll show you, but again, there have been people have supposedly seen like a ghost of a woman down here, especially downstairs here. So, but this is where we've had supposedly the most activity, where especially the stairs creaking. The former manager I used to work here would hear, like when she'd be here working at night, she'd hear someone walking up and down the stairs, and no one ever get here. And then she also had where she said she was working at her desk right here, where there was a woman staring at her watching her work. And she said she looked right at her, and she said she didn't believe in ghosts at the time, but she saw that, and the person turned around and just walked right out. This is where there's a lot of activity. Same with these other windows. People have seen someone looking out these windows from time to time. And that's even the woman who runs the ghost tours has seen someone looking out this particular window right here. But this is where the bulk of the activity takes place. That alleged activity. And again, I'll let you guys make that determination.
Awesome.
You said you wanted to start your own group, Jim? This woman, do you have any idea who she might be?
Now that's the question. I was actually talking to Melanie about that over dinner tonight. We don't know. But that seems to be the most consistent. I haven't heard any stories of a man walking around or any children. It's always a story of a woman, and that's the thing. And it's, I won't mention her name because she'd probably be embarrassed if I said, but the previous manager, a couple times when she'd tell you a story, you could tell she was genuinely spooked by it, where she said she looked up from her desk and sees someone looking at her and just walks out of the room. That's kind of cool when you think about it.
Cool.
But then when you hear the stories about someone walking up and down the stairs, I don't know. And there's a couple current employees here who said they've seen stuff and doors open and shut and stuff like that. But again, I've been doing this now 2 or 3 years, helping out my wife and stuff like that. But I haven't seen anything. She hasn't seen anything, but there's a lot of people that will go up and down and say, oh, we've definitely seen stuff. So.
Alright, so here we are at the Ramsay House in Alexandria, Virginia. And we're currently standing down in the basement. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by going through the house and getting our baseline reading with the EMF detector. So we're going to see if we pick anything up and find out where the high levels are and the low levels and where everything's normal. And then we'll go through a couple more times and compare each reading to see if we picked anything up, to see if anything's high that was low or other way around.
Did you get something?
No, it's all electrical stuff in there. So really high EMF.
No, this room's been debunked, period, because it's got a high EMF field. Everywhere you go, it's going off.
Okay.
Which is, that alone can make you feel things, feel sick.
Dizzy.
It goes up here.
Hallucinate.
Right here it goes up. This right here goes here. So, that's what this is. Down here. So.
Here we are down by the Coke machine, and found something that looks pretty interesting. I haven't really seen anything like this before. I'm going to zoom in so you can get a closer look at it. It's almost like it's a advertisement screen on the front of the Coke machine. And yeah, never seen anything like that.
The wife of Dennis over here, Dennis Ramsay, his wife's name was Jane Allen Taylor. She was born in Ireland in 1768, and she died November 24th, 1848. They had 9 children: Eliza, William, Jesse, Anthony, Anne, Jane, Robert, Amelia, and George Washington Ramsay. Go figure.
This must have been named after the bridge.
So the possible ghost could be his wife, Jane Allen Taylor.
She died in the house?
She did not die in the house. It just says that she died in Alexandria, Virginia.
I'd be assumed she died in the house then, huh?
And some of the kids didn't live very long. What's the math? Anthony Ramsay, 1793 to 1814.
It's pretty long. It's like 21 years.
Yeah, but it's pretty young. That's like before marriage and kids.
Not back then. It was after 5 years of marriage. She was probably ready to die. Well, here we are down here in Alexandria, taking in some of the scenery. Hey, it's good to come out. All right. See down the street, we've got some a lot of stuff going on out here. But here we are back in this back room where people have heard people walking around, seen some strange things. I mean, maybe it's not a big deal.
There's high EMF in here too, so that could affect everything.
But I don't know, the walls out here, it seems like it's the same wall, like they both go to the back of the building. That's weird. Now that dropped. See, earlier this wall was at 70 degrees, right? The one in there was at 67. But now this one's dropped down to 67. And it's only been a couple of minutes. So, I mean, we have a 3-degree change in temperature, which may not be anything, but it's, you know, definitely worth noting. Okay, so what we got is we brought an EMF detector, and we're going to set the EMF detector and recorder down here.
So you're running.
And we're going to leave it run for a couple minutes, and come back, see if we pick anything up, see if the cell phone? Is it near your cell phone? That just go off.
My cell phone's upstairs. It just went off.
Okay, well, note an EMF spike at 10:14.
Yeah, I didn't touch any buttons. It's
All
right here.
So we got an EMF spike. It's right over here, near the, right inside the door. 10:15. Voices that we just heard are people walking by the window, so there will be some of that. But we're gonna leave this running. If this EMF detector beeps, then it's fairly evident that something passed in front of it. Okay, so you see we got the recorder, we got the EMF reader in place, and right over here is where we picked up a spike right inside the door. Doesn't look like it. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to walk out. We're going to walk out of the room. It is currently 10:19. We're going to leave 2 EMF detectors and a recorder down here, and we're going to give it a couple of minutes, and we're going to come back. So if there is a presence in this room, we'd like you to make yourself known in any way you can. This recorder will be running, so if there's anything you want to tell us, feel free to say it into the recorder. So here we are back up in the main lobby, and I think we found something pretty interesting up here. Anchorman mustaches. Right, so here we are, we're back down in the basement of the Ramsay House, and so far tonight we went through, we took some pictures, a series of pictures in each room, with the night vision, without the night vision, with the flash, without the flash, and we're going to analyze those pictures later on, see if we came up with anything. Looks like we may have a few interesting things. Can't say for sure yet until we further look into it. but we're hoping something comes up in that. We're still waiting for the blues band to quiet down. They're still going at it. It's a little past 11 now. I believe
It's almost midnight.
it's almost midnight. So once they quiet down, we're going to get into some more EVP sessions. And we'll see if we can pick anything up. The results from our last one, we listened to it. Nothing too substantial, but we do feel that there could be something just out of the ordinary. There was a sound that simulated inhale if someone were breathing in. But other than that, until we further analyze it, we didn't really... So here we are in front of the Ramsay House in Alexandria. And this is the scene at about 11:45 at night, 11:47, 11:41. And streets are pretty dead, dying down a little bit. We've still got some people in the bars though. You can hear the band going. And that's what we need to quiet down. That's when we start AVP sessions. But yeah, very nice town, very historic. Apparently, while we're rolling, this right here is a tavern, and there is a story about...
Can barely see it on the camera.
Yeah, well, back on me then. Well, anyway, there's a bar behind me, and the story is there's a ghost that haunts the powder room upstairs. I believe it's a female ghost, from what I was told, but people have reported being pushed around by an unseen entity. Some stuff getting moved around up there. So that would definitely be a place to check out one of these times if we could ever get in there. Not with the band though. Okay, we're down here in the basement with the EMF detector. Right over here, bring your attention to this camera. That's the camera that is monitored from the screen upstairs. So we're going to go do an EVP session up there. While we're doing that, we're going to monitor the screen and see if by chance this lights up. If this lights up, I know there's something. Alright, as you can see, that's the monitor that's overlooking the basement downstairs. And we're going to notice if the EMF detector lights up at all. The band's still going pretty good, but we're gonna do one now and just see what happens.
We're upstairs in the Ramsay House in Melanie's office. Jeff, Brandy, and Lisa.
Jeff.
Lisa. No. That works.
Usually just say your name at the beginning just so we know.
Is that window crack?
No.
It is. It's busted. Look. No, I don't think that's a crack.
Oh crap.
What is that?
Streaks.
That's not a streak.
There's no cracks in it.
I see it. Right.
Alright. So we'd like to know if there is a presence here with us today in this room. If you're here with us today, can you tell us your name? We hope you're alright with us being here. We don't want to trespass. We're only here to talk to you if you're wanting to talk to us and possibly offer any help we can. Do you know why you're still here? What year is it? See anything down there?
I think it was just the computer screen.
The EMF detector isn't lighting up, is it?
No. What I saw was over here. This was the screen.
Alright, well, we just did an EVP session up in the conference room, and we got a little bit of interesting information, some possible evidence. First one, it could have been error, but I set the camera to record it, and maybe a couple minutes into it, maybe 5-10 minutes into it, the camera just shut off completely. There's a chance I didn't push the record button all the way, but we're going to kind of discount that just in case, because it could be chalked up to human error. However, the temperature did drop. If I remember correctly, we'll have to review the tape. A good 8 or 9 degrees from when we started, and a lot of times when it dropped, it was us asking for the temperature to be lowered, and it would be lowered. We also, in the middle of our EVP session, we had the EMF detector sitting on the table, and we got a pretty good spike in that EMF reading. It went off while we were doing the EVP session. And also some feelings and stuff like that.
It went off twice during the
Twice. What's on the table?
when I walked over by that window.
Yeah, it did. Over by the window on the far side, if you're going out of the office to the right,
Where the t-shirts are.
where the t-shirts are between the window and the table, the EMF detector went off.
Which window is it where they see, or is it that one?
One in the office.
He said it was a couple windows that people have been seen in, but it's primarily the one in the office. I guess was the one where that was where the previous manager saw somebody too. But you also had some feelings.
Getting waves of chills every time you kept asking if you could lower the temperature. What were you getting?
Same thing.
Were you getting chills or were you getting like...
Yeah. Whenever I would ask it where it was.
Yeah, I got some chills myself, but you also said that you felt some cold spots, didn't you?
Me?
Her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where I was by that window was freezing, and it would come in waves. It wasn't steady, and at a few points it felt like cold was sitting in my lap.
And the
Yeah,
temperature was definitely dropping, so that's interesting. Jeff?
Lisa, Randy, downstairs at the Ramsay House in the gift shop EVP session. Is there anybody here with us? Sure you've seen us walking around the house the past few hours? You should know by now we mean no harm. If you have anything to say, you can speak in this red light right here on the table.
Well, we're back up here in the office, and we're going to do round 2 for another EVP session. Now the band is quieted down. The streets are getting pretty quiet. So we're going to try again, see if we can't pick anything up. And we're just wondering if there's anyone here with us. If you could make your presence known. Can you cool the temperature down?